Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Levine Center at Queens University of Charlotte. In town today are the King University Tornado of Bristol, Tennessee. The Tornado, led by Coach Ryan Boer, coming in with a 3-8 record, with their 3 wins coming against Quincy University in 4 sets. They took care of both Tusculum University and Fort Valley State University in 5 sets. Kings has played 4 top 15 teams this season in Lewis University, Loyola Chicago University, Long Beach State, and the University of Southern California. They lost each game in 3 sets. Currently doing the starting lineup for the King Tornado. And for your Queens Royals, Queens comes in tonight with a 1-6 record, led by Coach Jeremy Price in his 6th year with Queens. He has a 57-77 record in his 6 years at Queens. His career record 179 and 211. His 14th year coaching. Royals have dropped 4 straight, including a loss to the defending national champions in #1 Hawaii, and a loss to national semifinalists #9 Ball State. The Royals are looking to grab a win before they head off to 5 straight road games starting tomorrow at Barton University. Up next, Queens University versus King. Queens will start us off tonight with the serve. #2, Ignatius Hayes. I'm Brendan O'Neill, joined by my color commentator, former Queens player, J.P. Payne.
Looking forward to it.
#2, Ignatius Hayes from Dallas, Texas. The senior gets us started. Can't get his first serve over the net. First point goes to King University. Starters for Queens University tonight: #1, Logan McDonald, the defensive specialist, a sophomore from Gahanna, Ohio. Is #2, Ignatius Hayes, the senior from Dallas, Texas. #5, Sterling Sims from Goodyear, Arizona. The grad student, Brian Schwab, a setter. #7, Guillermo Jordan, a defensive specialist. #13, Daniel Leto, a senior setter from Lisbon, Portugal. #22, Matthew Pilch, an outside hitter from Cedarburg, Wisconsin. #24, Fletcher Murphy from Conifer, Colorado. Queens evens up the score on the last possession. Now to serve number 24, Fletcher Murphy. Spike comes over the top from number 9, Jackson Carroll of King. Number 6, Aaron Milstead winning the point here. Sims and Schwab can't quite get their hands on the block. The serve for King, Aaron Milstead, senior from Mechanicsville, Virginia. Queens, Matthew Pilch unable to keep the serve in play. King off to a quick 3-1 lead.
Yeah, it just seems like Pilch couldn't really get his feet there. Need to take that step half a second earlier, and then he'll really get that ball right to where he needs to get it.
Still plenty of time to go for Queens. Get their feet warm. Got off to a slow start in their last home match against Merrimack. Pushed down to 5 sets. Milstead this time can't get his serve to fall over. Into the game for Aaron Milstead is number 5, Justin Sawyer, a sophomore from Richmond, Virginia. Serving now for the Royals, number 6, Brian Schwab.
Great dig by Guillermo.
What a spike from Matthew Pilch, redeeming himself, and evens the score.
Matthew Pilch in his second year really starting to get to who he is, turn into himself. He's been working really hard over the summer and last couple of years.
Queens in the middle of a transition to the Division I level. This is their first year competing at the Division I level. The university itself affiliated with the A-Sun Conference. Volleyball team playing in the IVA, the Independent Volleyball Association.
Volleyball is one of those unique sports where there's not a lot of schools around the country, so you really get just the Division I level and then the Division III level. You also have NAIA, which is the middle ground, but the transition for Queens is to the D1 level, but the men's volleyball program has been playing there for quite a couple years.
Ace from King University, and we see with the transition to the D1 level, there's so much competition for any school here. King has played 4 ranked teams in the top 15. And Queens played 2 in Ball State and in Hawaii, 2 at the national semifinalists from this past year. So plenty of competition and great play to go around.
Hawaii the favorites to win 3 in a row, actually. First time in a long time that's happened.
Blocked by Sims. Won't stay in play. The point will go to King. A.J. Drucker, the one on the winning end of that point for the Tornado. Serve here from Warren Davis. Gets it over. Great dig from Jordan. King keeps it in play. That's number 14, Kellen Kennedy on the attack.
Yeah, Kennedy having a monster year. Second in the country in hitting percentage at the .534 mark. So it's more often than not that he's getting a kill than anything in between. And there goes another one off the overpass.
Yeah, we see it there. King, the largest player on this court. Hard to miss him with the flowy red hair. But he set the tone early so far tonight for the Tornado, off to an 8-4 lead.
Yeah, the biggest issue for Queens this year and the past 2 years has been their passing, but it seems like Guillermo's taking up the majority of the court, and that's really helping them out right there.
Yeah, Jordan playing a big role so far, especially off the serve. Take from number 5, Justin Sawyer. Right over to the Royals, number 5, Sterling Sims. Can't keep possession. King on the offensive.
Yeah, it just seems like they misread the block a little bit there. I mean, if you're running right over the top, is what they call a BIC, so you're running back row right on top of the middle. And Fletcher Murphy, who has been working to fix his arm swing, just had a monster kill right there as well.
Queens a little bit back into it off the Kennedy serve. It'll now be number 13, Daniel Lieto. taking up the service responsibilities for the Royals.
Yeah, Daniel came in as a setter these last couple of years and has really transitioned over to the right side, especially last year having a senior setter and now this year having a grad assistant setter in Schwob. Really taking on the role at the right side as well.
Block there from Ignatius Hayes, the senior from Dallas. He's been playing really well. In his 4th year here, he's a senior. He's played 64 sets across 19 matches last game, making 16 starts. So we've seen his role improve a lot so far this season.
Yeah, he had an amazing game against Merrimack. 12 kills, 6 digs, 4 blocks, 4 aces with a total of 18 points. All of those were a season high for him. So he is kind of rotating in and out of the lineup, but he really is having a year that he 100%, in my opinion, deserves to start and prove himself.
Hayes on the attack there. Net violation from Kings number 10. AJ Joker got his hands a little bit too close. Kings point, back to a 1-point lead for the Tornado.
Great serve by Daniel right there. Right off the hands of Fletcher. Just turn that left hand back in and he would have had that one, but sometimes when you're up so high jumping like Fletcher, I mean, it'll get you off the top of the fingers.
And strong spike there from the Tornado on service number 10. AJ Drucker.
Great pass by Ananias.
Good positioning from Aaron Millsted there on the Tornado.
Good everything right there. I think the set just needed to be a little bit higher. I mean, like I said, with the way that Fletcher jumps, he's 6'8" and can touch all the way up to 12 feet. I mean, sometimes you just got to kind of loft the ball up as much as you want tempo on it. He's got to work above the block.
Nieto, a strong spike there. Warren Davis hits it right into the front of the net. Easy point there for Queens after a strong attack from number 13.
Great chase down. They really had it, but sometimes after those great plays, you get a little nervous, want to make sure everything is capped off the right way, and I guess it got to him there a little bit on Davis.
Serve now is Hayes. Too much power behind that one. Point goes to the Tornado, 12-9 lead. About halfway through this first set. On service now, number 9, Jackson Carroll. Murphy blocked right over the net. It's Millsted again this time.
Yeah, Fletcher Murphy came into this game 0 hitting errors on the year. Now he has 2 already this game, so might be a little frustrating for him, but his spacing's great. Everything else that he's doing is going well. They're just really pinching in on that middle, and I think that was probably a focal point in their film session before the game.
And we see Schwab here trying to get a little shifty with it. Decided to skip the set and try and tap it over, but he's blocked again. King extends their lead to 5 points, their largest of the night in this first set.
Yeah,
Good.
King's record doesn't necessarily show the real skill that they have. They're 3-8 right now, but they're coming in on huge games off a little West Coast trip, playing Long Beach State, USC. They've played 4 top-ranked teams in the country, so Lewis, Long Beach State, USC, and Loyola all within the top 15. So that 3-8 record doesn't necessarily show the skill that they have.
And when you play teams that are that dominant in any sport, coming off this West Coast trip like King just did, you're going to get a lot better. You're going to learn. Even if you're playing 3 sets against the number 3, number 11, number 12, number 15 teams in the country, you're learning a lot. Those aren't games necessarily going in to try and win. You're trying to get better as a team. Take a timeout here. King up 15-10 halfway through the first set. Back now for the resumption of the first set. King with a 15-10 lead. Service to Aaron Milstead.
Great pass by G.
Your strength behind that from Hayes. Way to get behind that one.
They really like that back row attack, especially when you have such a consistent force in the middle with Sterling. They're always pinching in on that. So they'll pinch in on the middle, maybe get him to jump a little bit, Kennedy there, and then have Ananias go right over the top.
Too strong on the spike from Drucker. Queens coming out strong on the timeout. The first 2 points go to the Royals.
Ananias hitting 1,000. Three kills on 3 attempts. So having a really efficient night so far. Let's see if he can keep it up and keep going. Matthew Pilch also 4 kills, 0 errors on 5 attempts. So both outsides hitting very efficiently right now. A little bit of an ugly set there, but
yeah, well, the middle has been part of the problem for Queens so far to get going. The outside hitters have really been the bright spot for the Royals. So if you're going to look to find success, you're going to have to look through Pilch and Hayes so far.
King really hitting well right now. 8 kills, 1 error on 13 attempts, hitting over 500. So with numbers like that, it's really tough to kind of compete and stay in the game, as we could tell, being down 5. So hopefully Queens can focus on their block a little bit and turn the tide around a little bit.
We see in this last possession a little bit of miscommunication between Lieto and Hayes. Going to cost Queens a point.
Great swing by Pilch off the block, just going off the high hands and then pushing it out to the side to where neither the libero or outsides in the back row can grab it. Great serve by Pilch. Hang time by Sterling Sims and Ananias.
Great block by both Lieto and Sims. Queens slowly trying to creep this back to a tied game, 14-17.
And just when it seems like King's starting to sneak out, I mean, a quick service run will get you right back into it. So Pilch, who's been switching his serve up from a jump float to a jump spin, really is kind of getting him back into it. And then you can see Michael Sasha warming up for their next rotation, which will be Sterling Sims serving. So we'll most likely see Michael Sasha come in, serve for Sterling, and get some defensive touches in the back row.
Queens a quick 2-point run to regain that 5-point lead. Timeout to the Royals. It was mostly Queens, but a quick service run from the Tornado. It's back out to a 19-14 lead for the Tornado. Middle of the first set, timeout Royals. King University's Warren Davis on the service out of the timeout. Lieto's spike blocked at the net. Lieto, a second attempt.
Great
kept alive by
Jack.
King. Schwab on the set. Pilch, great spike. Keeps it in play. Point to the Royals.
Great swing by Pilch right over the top. Somehow still has that little afro hair right in his eyes, but managed to see that spot perfectly. Great swing by Pilch.
Into the game comes Queens senior number 18, Michael Sasha. Sterling Sims exits the game. Sasha last season played in 81 sets across 30 matches, recording 2 service aces and 3 digs. Great dig there from Schwab.
Yeah, Mike really coming into his role here again. I mean, every year he seems to be the guy that on paper would be one of the best players in the gym. 6'6" from Maryland, outside. That is traditionally a position where you're around 6'2", 6'3", but Mike is more of our serving spec guy who comes in, can change the game on a dime just because of his serving and defense in the back row. Guy that really knows his role, plays it as about perfect as you can get.
That's about all a coach can ask for. Sasha checking out of the game as Queens begins their defensive possession. Service for Tornado. This time from number 13, Colton Boyder.
And then King goes over to play Barton, Queens goes over to play Barton tomorrow. Former King alumni, JT Depp is now their head coach over there. So interesting to see how he will turn that program around, who hasn't won a game actually in the past year and a half. So new head coach at the helm over there. And Queens will see how they either have turned it around or the type of program that Barton's looking to be this year.
Yeah, definitely going to be a game that Queens is looking to take a quick win in. They're only 1-6 this season. Only win coming against the Division II competition of Lees McRae. But winless against, tough schedule. 2 ranked teams also coming in the transition period into the Division I competition.
Lost a really tough game against Merrimack in 5 sets that got a little chippy there, but touch off the block and off the back row. But have played a really strong group of competition with Hawaii. Just came back from a road trip from Ball State and Fort Wayne, 2 really established and strong Division I programs that they will see more consistently on a year-to-year basis now that they'll be in the MIVA next year.
Hayes on the service for the Royals.
Great serve.
Lots of power behind that one. Schwab on the block. Point to the Royals. Deficit down to 3.
We'll see if Ananias puts a little more heat on it or if he takes some off, because sometimes after a serve like that, the passers in the back row will really kind of expect the same thing, expect something a little hotter, but if you take the heat off of it, then you can catch them short and really get it going. Just like that. And a great block by Fletcher Murphy as well.
Schwab is getting whistled.
Doesn't seem like he was in the net, but
the officials will say. Violation against Schwab, point to the Tornado.
Chris Peters coming in the back row, freshman actually with my number now, so good to see somebody wearing it. Young freshman, really good at passing, coming in a lot to pick it up in the back row, maybe have a crucial 1 or 2 passes that can really change the game, get the middles going, and switch up the offense a little bit. So most likely will rotate back out again when he goes to the front row for Ananias, but has been playing really well at the age of a freshman, to say the least. His brother's a setter at Lees McRae. So the sole win on the year for Queens is against his brother, which is bragging rights for him.
Without a doubt. Strong spike there from the Tornado.
Amazing first dig by Jackson Maples right there, but that second one was a little too much to handle for almost anybody. Great swing by number 14. I'm sure the numbers will speak for it as well. Kennedy having a strong game, doesn't really seem like he's been stopped just yet. I mean, that's part of the reason why he is number 2 in the country hitting percentage. So for him, hopefully he can keep that up, but for Queen's sake, I hope they can start to slow him down a little bit here in this end of the first set and going into the second set.
Yeah, we'll see how Coach Price adjusts to Kennedy's consistency and presence in front of the net, as we see there. Block to number 14 of the King. Tornado, Kellen Kennedy. He's been all over the place And it's set point for the King Tornado.
This is a spot where you really don't want to get an ace going into the second set because that will drop the morale a little bit, as much as you say it doesn't. But Peters right there with a great pass. Perfect set outside of Pilch. She puts it down.
Pilch, lots of power behind that one.
Starting to really become a focal point here for Queens, especially his last 2 games. He's hit 333 against Ball State and 375 against Fort Wayne, which is quite the feat for an outside. Numbers in terms of kills didn't look great because he didn't have as many attempts, but was very efficient in his last 2 games as well. So hopefully he can keep that up now, and it does seem like he's doing that.
Smart play there from the Tornado. They'll take the first set with them, 25-20. After the bench change, we'll be back for the second set. And if you look here, we've got to look at some of the first set stats. Even on kills, Queens really playing well on the defensive side with their digs, but the service ace and the blocks really where King made the Royals pay. 3 aces to none for the Tornado, and 4 blocks to 1, and also in the advantage of the Tornado. So 27-23 on attacks. Queens did well on the defensive side, just not taking advantage of opportunities, and King outplaying them on the defensive side and in the service game.
And Queens actually out attacking King right now, hitting 348 on the set compared to King hitting 333. Mixing up King and Queens back and forth a little bit is not as easy as you think, but Queens swinging really well, just need to get more of that going. So it seems like their offense is starting to click. Maybe a couple more attempts at Daniel Leitao overhead would help out a little bit, keep the defense guessing. But passing's there. It seems like there just needs to be a little more consistency to get them that next step to hopefully take the second set, third set, and hopefully close it out in the fourth set and win the game. But we'll see how it goes from now on.
During this tie break, we saw it looked to be a passionate Nias Hayes talking to his teammate, trying to get a little more energy out of them. So the message coming across from the senior captain there. King will start with the service, number 9, Jackson Carroll, to get the second set started.
King with 3 aces that first set.
This time Carroll goes in the net. Not relatively close. Queens gets to start with the 1-0 lead. Fletcher Murphy on service here for the Royals.
Short serve. Good touch off the block.
Good set from Schwab. Spiked by
There we
Leotel. Number 6, Aaron Milstead.
A little bit of movement overhead to Daniel always help out. He really is the energizer. Him and Ananias always knocking the wind out of me after I would get a kill last year.
Number 6, Aaron Milstead for the Tornado, called for net interference. Strong spike here from AJ Drucker. Comes off the left hand of number 22, Matthew Pilch. It lands out of play. Milstead again on service for the Tornado. Set by Schwab, strong spike by Pilch. Number 3, Warren Davis for the Tornado, able to lift it over. Leotel overhead swing. Kept in play by Carroll. King gonna win that point after a great possession between both teams. Starting to come into form.
Yeah, Kennedy and Sarnaki really have that connection there. I mean, they've been playing together for 3 years on and off. Jack's been here and there, injured a little bit. Actually had surgery on his hip and was named Comeback Player of the Year by King last year. So he's doing a really good job at keeping that offense going and really forcing the middle, keeping Queens guessing.
Kennedy earning the point there for the Tornado. A little bit of a block and a tip. Beat Schwab on the possession. King regains the lead 3-2 earlier in the second set.
Yeah, that's just one of those balls. It's a little tough to kind of position yourself and grab when you're up at the net jousting, especially being a setter going against the middle, who traditionally is bigger than you, and in this case is definitely the case. Schwab a little outmanned on that one, but it's more or less about who can get there the quickest and who's the smartest with their hands. So
Schwab on service, the Royals now. After the Tornado put their second serve of the set into the net, Warren Davis comes back with a strong spike here. Number 23, Jack Sarnowski, will serve for the Tornado.
Davis having a really strong year as well. King went 5 sets against Fort Valley State a couple games ago, and he had 14 digs and 19 kills. So led the team right there, just shy of 20 kills. He's been playing at a really high level, and I think King's offense is starting to click here a little bit. So tied at 4-4. We'll see how Queens can turn it around these next couple points.
Yeah, great attack in that last possession from Matthew Pilch. Got it by Kellen Kennedy, who puts his serve right in the net. Be Warren Davis on service for the Tornado.
And Davis actually leading the team in kills and digs. Has 107 kills before the start of this game and led with digs at 60 at the start of this game as well. Sterling grabs it coming across the net.
Spike from number 9, Carroll. Lots of power behind that one. Takes it through the Royals' defense, opening up a 2-point lead. Still early in the set.
Really different King team that we're used to seeing. Lost 2 of their best players last year. Joshua Kim, who was an outside All-American, if I'm not mistaken, and then Conference Carolinas Defensive Player of the Year, Noah Melendez, left King for his 5th year and is now playing at Fort Wayne, who Queens just saw these past couple days. So 2 really big pieces there, but it doesn't really look like anything's necessarily slowed down for King.
Big spike in that last possession from King, number 14, Kellen Kennedy, followed up by a great play from Warren Davis.
Great swing by Pilch, too. They're really starting to pinch on the middles in the BIC as well, which is what Matthew just ran right there. So hopefully that one doesn't come back and bite him. He needs to turn it a little more to the left or right rather than swing it straight forward. Got him in the seam right there, so.
Drucker can't keep that play in bounds. Point to the Royals. Sterling Sims on the service duty.
Sterling Sims actually having a surprisingly good year serving. I mean, traditionally he does have one of those serves where it's very hit or miss. As we see right there, almost an ace.
Ball kept alive by Pilch. Kennedy brings it back over. Sims able to maintain it. Kennedy too strong there for Sims. Winning a well-battled point for the Tornado.
Off the great serve by Sterling Sims, really starting to become his own there. Like I said earlier, very hit or miss serve, but he's averaging .421 aces per set, which is 36 nationally. Really good numbers there. It doesn't take into account service errors, but it is something to be very proud of as well because he has been working on his serve a lot this last couple of years.
Point there to the Royals. Tornado couldn't keep it in play, back by the bench.
See if Queens can tie it up right here with an ace.
Yeah, Lieto on the serve. Been one of the bright spots for the Royals tonight. Lots of power on that one. Davis takes it up the net. Drucker, way to keep it in play.
About as close to an ace as you can get. And then Ananias puts it down. Outsides are staying very efficient for Queens right now.
Yeah, Hayes cleans up on that one. Great set from Schwab. And nothing but strength behind that one there from Hayes. Ties it up at 8-8 in the second set.
And we'll see if King starts to make any adjustments towards the outsides because the game's clearly flowing through them. And if they start to make one or two earlier steps over to the outsides, they might open up the middle or even the right side for Fletcher Murphy, Sterling Sims, and Daniel Leitao right there.
Kept in play by Justin Sawyer. Set from Schwab. Lieto overhead. Tarnowski, great dig. Drucker this time.
Tight to the net. Schwab gets that one.
Drucker just taking it easy over the net. Set from Schwab. Great play by Davis. Well, 1 point there by the Tornado. A.J. Drucker finding the back of the court there.
It's just a tough one. You don't necessarily expect him to go over on two like that, but in a quick rally where things are just kind of bouncing around like a pinball machine, you really do see plays like that go down, which is unfortunate for Queens, but a great play by King. Great eye by Ananias right there.
Yeah, that was a tight one. Well played, though, by the senior out of Dallas, Texas. Strong service from Hayes. Set by Sarnowski. Davis, a soft player over the top. Here's Pilch. Blocked hard at the net by Milstead. Jordan couldn't keep control of it. Point to the Tornado.
Yeah, Pilch was really starting to try and put that one down, which might not have been the best idea because he did have two blockers in front of him. But, I mean, can't knock the confidence. The kid's been playing at a really high level this game. One block doesn't ever really change anything that much, but a nice roll shot might have helped him out there.
Hayes blocked there by Davis and Milstead. Here's Pilch over the top. Davis. This time his jump a little bit, not enough on that one.
They're trying to go really, really sharp there and try and catch the front row outside Pilch off a little bit because that technically is his responsibility if it goes over, but just didn't get enough cut and arc on that one.
Fletcher Murphy of the Royals on service duty. Davis blocked this time. There's Pilch to recover that one. Set from Schwab. Lieto over the top. Milstead earns his point.
Yeah, Sterling Sims just grabbed that one a little earlier. He was waiting for the ball to go into the plane right there because setter is front row, but just got him half a second early. If he would have waited just one more second, there probably would have been a joust that went Queen's way, but seems like King got the best of him on that one.
Here's Milstead on the serve. Power behind that one. Jordan and Hayes both go after the Pilch, blocked right at the net by Sarnowski.
Jack blocking very well this game. Him and Kennedy really have a good block together. I mean, the stats speak for themselves. Kennedy in the top 35 in blocks per set this season nationally with a .821. So really would like to see somebody get to that one personally, but those numbers right there are really good either way.
Great kill from Sarnowski. Over the top. Right into the back of the court by Hayes. Extends the Tornado out to a 3-point lead.
And Ananias and Guillermo have years and years and years of playing together, not necessarily passing together. They grew up in Texas playing for the same club team, but Ananias was actually a right side before he transitioned over to outside, where he was more of a focal point passing on the on the offensive end. So him and Guillermo have been playing together for a really long time, and when something starts to go the wrong way or when things seem off, they're really good anchors to each other and can keep themselves mentally grounded.
Milstead wins the first service, ace of the night for the Tornado, and follows it up with a fault.
Here comes Schwab with a more or less hybrid serve. It really depends on their opponent and how well they can pass. Some teams pass a little better on a float serve. Some people pass a little better on a jump serve. So great read by Sterling. Might have been a lift right there, but doesn't seem like they called it.
Sims going to get whistled. Looks like he came into contact with the net. Kennedy being the big factor on that play. Got his hands on that one. Halfway through the second set, the Tornado lead 15-11. We'll come back in about 60 seconds. Out of the official timeout, halfway through the second set, it's 15-11 in favor of King University. On service duty for the Tornado is number 23, Jack Sarnowski.
Jack actually a great server. That lefty float serve can really catch you off guard, and he had 3 aces against Loyola, believe it or not. A really good really good receiving team up there in Chicago.
Well played by Sims on that possession, wins the first point out of the break for the Royals. We saw after the halfway point of the first set, Wins came out on a quick 4-2 run, played really well, but then gave up a couple service runs to the Tornado. Coming out hot again, out of the timeout, 2 quick points for the Royals.
The first ace of the night for Queens right there from Matthew Pilch, so we'll see if he can follow it up with another one.
Here's Sarnowski, Davis in the spike. Schwab can't keep it alive. Another point to Warren Davis, the King University Tornado. Here's Schwab, has Hayes.
Great high ball from Hayes where he just goes right over the block. I mean, Ananias might not be the tallest in stature, but that kid can jump over almost anybody in the gym. Him and both middles, Fletcher Murphy and Sterling Sims, all have verticals and well over the 40-inch mark.
And you can see the energy he brings to the team, too. After each point, he's always really excited, especially after that one. A big one for his team and a strong one, too. Hayes leading the huddle. You can see the energy in the way he moves. Drucker, great dig by Sims. Here's Schwab over to Hayes. Pushes it over the top. Davis keeps it in play.
And you'll hear the crowd get a little louder on that one when Sims gets the dig, because he is not supposed to be back there too often. Middles really just go back on the back row when they're serving. To get a dig is something That's more or less like a unicorn in volleyball. Some middles are really good at it, can get it consistently, but that's never necessarily their job. So to see a dig like that is really special.
Kennedy serve kept in play by the Royals, set by Schwab. Here's Hayes again. Blocked by Drucker. Jordan couldn't maintain it. King University back out to a 4-point lead.
And like I said earlier, it's really starting to look like King's starting to shade towards the outside a little bit, which we'll do when teams really have one or two guys that are going at a set position. So to see if they can get it going and switch up the runs a little bit, maybe here to Fletcher or Daniel would be great.
Lieto that time blocked by Milstead. Here's Hayes, kept in play by Sarnowski. Kennedy, great play for King. Keep the possession alive. Great kill there from Lieto. Right down the far sideline. Another play. An excellent play there. Queens number 13. Him and Hayes continuing to play super, super well tonight.
See a little frustration from the King side because Ananias got a ball that was a little tight, might have been under just a little bit, but bumping knees with anybody doesn't never really feel too great. So see the frustration from number 6 Aaron and the head coach, Coach Boer over there. Coach Boer doing a really good job of slowing down the game, has a history of that. He's a great coach, has done everything right over at King, won a couple championships for their conference as well, but whenever the game isn't going their way, you'll see him try and slow it down to see if he can get the game to turn in their favor.
Here's Davis, blocked at the net.
Seems like 3 straight points for Queens, so that's a big turnaround here. So see if they can hopefully beat King to 20 points because that's really where it starts to get chippy. Game to 5, if you're ever tied at 20-20, that's how you like to segment it down.
Lieto on the serve now for the Royals.
Great serve by Daniel.
Ace there for Lieto. Brings it back to a tie game.
Go, and then you start to see the cracks and folds in King's offense. Might be the seams and passing, so if we could take advantage of that, that'd be great.
Timeout to the Tornado. We'll come back when play resumes. Out of the King University timeout, it's 18-18. Royals on a quick 4-0 run, bringing themselves right back into the set. The outsides in Hayes and Lieto have been playing really, really well out of the halfway point of the set. Lieto sends his service a little long. First point of the timeout goes to King.
Yeah, usually they'll try and get a little timeout if you're on a nice service one right there and trying to ice you, and it seems like, unfortunately, for Queens, that worked out just the way King was expecting.
Fault on the other end for Drucker, though. Back to a tie game at 19-19. Hayes to serve now for the Royals.
You'll probably see Ananias take a little bit of heat off of this one, maybe catch him off guard into the seams between the passers in the back row. So catch one of them off guard right now. play.
Reservice to Hayes. Miscommunication between Coach Bohr and the officials. Hayes whistled for a
unfortunate
football.
there. Had a really good serve first coming in, and then that buzzer went off, probably threw off his rhythm a little bit, and then second serve right into the net and foot faulted. So Queens having some rotational issues. Ananias maybe left a little too early to sub in for Peters. But then we see Peters coming back in again for Ananias. More as a passing sub in the back row to see if they can get things going and hopefully run the middle these next couple balls.
Set from Schwab. Here's Lieto. Blocked. Can't keep it alive. Davis and Milstead on the block there. Timeout Queens. King University leads 21-19. Looking towards the conclusion of the second set. We'll be back when play resumes. Royals taking a timeout after King regains their lead out to 21-19. It was a tie game at 18-18 after a 4-0 service run.
That just shows you how quick a game can turn, and hopefully Queens can do the same thing right here with a swing from Fletcher. Really working on speeding up his arm swing these last couple days, trying to swing in front of the ball rather than behind it and over. So speeding up his arm swing a little there, and to have a 6'8" guy that can jump out the gym and swing quick is something that nobody really wants to be on the other side of.
Yeah, strong overhead swing there from the Royals, number 24, junior Fletcher Murphy. Brings it back to a 1-point game. He's set from Tarnowski. Great play from Davis. With Kennedy out of the game, Davis has been the go-to guy. He's played really well on the outside.
And then we see Kennedy come back in, so now you have two threats in the front row. Front row setter with Sarnaki as well, but we'll really see if they can make the right decision on the block here for Queens and slow down or get a big block right here to turn the tides at 20-22.
Here's Mason Martindale on the serve.
Great pass from Pilch right there. That's just one of those things that you always like to see and feel as an outside. I wasn't necessarily one myself, but knowing that you can get that quick pass and then have the reward right to you as well in that set, and putting the ball right down Kennedy's chest there is great. Kennedy was a little more pressed. He probably would have gotten that one, but it seems like Pilch got the better of him.
Float serve there from Schwab. Kept in play by Chris Peters. Well done by the freshman. Pilch blocked. Kept alive by the Tornado. Blocked there by Sims and Pilch. Tie game at 22.
Huge back-to-back plays from Pilch right there. Really coming into his own as a sophomore on this team here. Was seeing the rotation a little bit as a freshman, kind of came in and out. But now he's really starting to get his things going here. And senior Jack Brinkman on the bench giving him some advice, which is really good to see there as well.
Davis blocked. Queens on a quick 3-0 run, regains the lead, 23-22.
Sterling Sims fired up at the bench right there. Him and Daniel really closed that block well and then got the best of Davis, I believe. Yes, Davis.
Schwab on the serve.
Set back to the outside. Great dig. Good hands by Guillermo.
Leotow kept alive by Davis. Well played there. And King winning a great point there. Ties the game back up. Well played by Sarnowski.
Just another one of those tough pinball machine plays right there where ball's bouncing around. Maybe refs might have missed a lift call there, but Jack just tapping it right back over to where the defense isn't expecting it. So let's see if Queens can convert right here.
Great dig by Jordan.
Swing was out of bounds, but Queens lucked out there as Kennedy was in the net right before the ball hit the ground. So even if the ball's flying out of bounds, as long as it's still in the air and they're in the net, Queens will get that point every time.
That point here for the Royals. Matthew Pilch to serve.
It's a big net error right there, so hopefully right here we could just get the ball in rather than in the net.
Great play by Kennedy. Hard to perform a dig.
He had a hole wide open right there, and looks like he took advantage of it.
Man, that's a big guy putting a lot of strength behind that play.
Off-speed serve right there that we were talking about earlier. Straight to Daniel. King in the net again. Seen a lot of King errors right there. If there weren't as many errors keeping him out of the net, King might have had this game wrapped up already, but they're in the net. Their next server is Kennedy. That keeps him out of the front row, and I really think Queens can take advantage of that as well. So let's see if Jackson Maples can get him off the net.
Strong service from Maples. Set for Kennedy. Short set. He's able to tie it up. Now we're going to win by 2, range 25-25. Playing this set, either King or Queens needs to gain a 2-point advantage.
See Kennedy sub out and have a serving sub come in, Colton right here. So we will see what kind of serve this is and how Queens can adjust. Ananias Hayes back in the back row again as Chris Peters subbed out.
Colton Boyder on the service for the Tornado.
Pass by Ananias. Great set and swing by Fletcher.
Big time play by Murphy, giving Queens the first chance at the tiebreaker set point.
Fletcher doing a really good job at staying open to the setter and keeping his chest there to where even a low set like that, he has the ability to either throw it off the block or just get a quick ball that goes over. Great serve by Daniel that wraps up the second set.
Yeah, Queens will claim that one. Great serve there by Leotow.
Queens actually lost on an ace to Merrimack just like that, so I'm sure that one felt good to get back at not necessarily the same team, but very similar result on the other end.
And a big play there. Now we're even at sets. King with the opportunity to go up 2-0. Couldn't get it done, a couple net penalties. And Queens ties it up 1-1 on to the third set now. And we'll come back when play resumes. And we'll look back at the second set here. We can see Queens picking up 3 service aces. King University still dominating on the front of the net in the middle with 8 blocks to Queens' 2. Relatively even on the number of attacks. King with 30 kills, Queens with 26 total. So the game's starting to level out here, especially on the attacking side and the service side. So we should be in for a good 3rd, 4th, and maybe 5th set here.
Yeah, King didn't necessarily play their best volleyball right there, but I think if Queens can really turn the block around and get more than 2 a set, they can really win that set by 4 or 5 points rather than going into extra points and winning by 2. So we'll see how Queens responds, see if they can add on top of what they just did, or see how King responds and turn the tides back in their favor.
Anasias Hayes to begin the 3rd set here for the Royals.
Averaging 2.6 points per set. I'm sure that one's gone up after this. I mean, his numbers are looking really good right now, so we'll see if he can keep it up. Not necessarily the serve you want to see, but attacking and passing, he's been playing really well.
Yeah, poor serve there. Start off the 3rd set. Not exactly a tone setter that you want in an important pivotal set to try and give you the 2-1 advantage. There's Leah Tao.
Daniel with a touch off the block, giving the point to Queens, but as I said earlier, Coach Boer arguing it a little bit, see if he can slow down the game. Might not have actually been a touch on that one, but you saw the line judge get the call right there. Queens with opportunity to challenge things this year, which is a little different. So Conference Carolinas teams, Division II schools in the area that don't have a traditional replay system are able to come into the Queens gym and challenge calls. But as we saw there, no need for a challenge. The up ref overturned it and gave the call to King. It goes from a kill for Daniel Leitao to an error.
Back into the action, it's Jackson Carroll on the serve. Lots of pace on that one. Set by Schwab. Here's Hayes. Dug well by Carroll. Point to the Tornado. Looked like Pilch had contact with the net there.
Great swing by Ananias. Tough dig by King. Went right over the net, and Pilch had the chance to put it away, and I think picks up one of his very few errors of the night on something that is tough to see. But, I mean, when you get that excited for a ball coming over like a birthday cake, you just want to be able to put it down. But makes up for it right there with a kill. Yeah,
falling possession. Great set by Schwab. Puts Pilch in a fantastic position. Matthew puts a lot of pace behind that one.
A tough set to push it all the way from the right side all the way to the outside with a little bit of height there. Pilch's legs really give him the chance to get up and touch it.
Blocked there by Sims. Leitao keeps it in play. The Royals, number 13, making it a 2-3 game in the 3rd set.
Great swing by Daniel.
Well done by Queens to turn this one around. The Tornado off to a quick 3-0 lead. Queens responding with a little run of their own. Here's Murphy. Set by Sarnowski.
Quick set. King's doing a really good job of keeping their middles involved. And it's a little bit different than the traditional offense. I mean, especially with the teams Queens has seen these last couple days, they run a higher, more physical offense. Rather with King, you see him running things a lot quicker out of the hands of the setter. And with their middles being so experienced with their particular setter, Jack, you see things go their way more often than not because they are hitting so quickly.
Well played there by Schwab. Over in 2 for the Royals.
Really liking to see Schwab get more aggressive. These last couple games, he's been playing very well, but also has not taken advantage of being as aggressive in the front row as he has been normally. The great dig right there off his chest. Another one by Guillermo Jordan.
Yeah, Davis for King back-to-back plays lots of pace on his spikes.
Yeah, I'd like to see Schwab get a little more aggressive at the net. Last 2 games, he only had two dump attempts in his last 3 games, and just picked up another attempt right there, which almost worked in his favor. So hopefully, if he can get that going, Queens will really start to see some more success having a second, third threat in the front row.
Yeah, Sarnowski puts one in the net. Now Matthew Pilch on the service for Queens. Lots of pace on that one. Kennedy able to collect it. Blocked by Hayes.
Ananias and Sterling both up there high enough to get that ball, but it seems like their chest was just a little too far over, whereas if you press with your hands and get your chest tighter to the net, they might have had that one down.
Service from Davis. Great dig by Pilchers. Leotow. Well played there by the Tornadoes, number 5, Justin Sawyer. Sarnowski set.
Coach right there to pick it up as well.
Here's Hayes.
Great swing by Ananias high off the block.
Yeah, lots of pace on that one, Sarnowski.
That's where he really starts to thrive. I mean, the kid can hit over just about anybody. That's really what you start to see in these athletes that Queens has. He'll get them high off the hands, or sometimes he'll just go straight over him and hit down.
Lots of strength there from Sims. Sarnowski sets. Bob keeps it alive. Great recovery from Sims. Hayes plays it easy over. There's Kennedy.
2 back row touches from Sterling Sims, which is huge.
Leotow. Lots of pace behind that one. Kennedy can't block it the right way. Queens ties his third set up 6-6.
Yeah, huge rally. And as I was talking about earlier with Fletcher Murphy, Sterling gets 2 great touches in the back row, a dig and a set right over to Ananias. But Daniel, the one putting that ball down, that follows it up with a great serve. And almost another dig.
Yeah, too strong there from Jackson Carroll for the big Sterling Sims to get his hands underneath. Well played there.
I'd like to tell him I taught him that, but not after an error. Whenever it goes well, I'll take credit for teaching him that, but not that one.
Soft serve there from Kennedy.
Fletcher just a little too early, but might have been part of the set as well. So see if Queens can get that one right next time around. Most likely that will go down in Queens' favor.
Kennedy back on the serve for the Tornado after Jordan couldn't keep it in play. Kellen Kennedy. Well played by Jordan Hayes. Up high again.
Another moment of King's scrappy defense right there, and Fletcher doing a great job pulling the block, especially when you get really loud in the middle and you're running those quick offenses. You'll see the middle start to hesitate a little bit, and that's exactly what Ananias needed to get that middle jumping with Fletcher, so he has a one-on-one block on the outside. So taking advantage of that one-on-one block and putting the ball down there.
Great dig by Davis. Milstead gets it over. Well played by Schwab. Feed it to Hayes. Hayes, great defense there, but didn't need it into the net.
Ananias really showing some emotion there. I mean, one of the most emotional guys on the team. Freshman year actually came in, did not have his best day, was a little nervous going into his first preseason tournament, and probably doesn't want me telling people this, but was in the bathroom a little emotional before the game, and now you see him really as that driving force of Queens offense here. So especially after points like that, him and Daniel Leitao alone can carry the team to some great energy.
Yeah, both of the outside seniors playing really well tonight and continuing to play super well.
Schwab on the net right there.
Yeah, point to the the Tornado. 9-8 in the third set. It's been a tight one so far.
Yeah, one of those areas you don't want to see out of a veteran, especially Schwab being in the MIVA these last couple of years over at Lindenwood, now coming down to Queens as a fifth-year graduate student. Really tough one to see there, but Queens still just within one and takes advantage of the repeat right there.
Point to Queens after the rebound from Davis goes long. Tied back up. Hayes on service duty.
Schwab been blocking really well. Just maybe a little too excited on a tight ball like that and got in the net the play before, but made up for it the next one and got that one down to a King error.
Hayes, lots of pace there, keeps it in play. The first service ace of the third set for the Royals.
Ananias, again, playing at a very high level. His mom got a lot to be proud of. His dad has a lot to be proud of as well. I'm sure they're watching. So Ananias has done a great job, and hopefully we'll see his continued success this year in his senior year.
Hayes, another great serve. Dig by Davis, enough to keep it in play. Hayes, again, been all over the court for Queens so far. Schwab's block attempt comes over out of bounds.
Yeah, right there, just made the read a little bit too late. Maybe if he would have taken a shuffle step in, he probably would have had that one. But unfortunately for Queens, he was just half a second late. So we'll see if he can make up for it with an assist right here. I'm hoping they're trying to force the middle a little bit on this one.
Here's Carroll right to Jordan, set by Schwab. Here's Pinch. Kept in play, blocked by Murphy.
Great read by Fletcher, especially with the setter coming over on the second ball.
Great block combination there from both Sarnowski and Milstead. Milstead, a lot of energy right now.
Then you'll start to see a battle of the benches. Queens bench a little deeper than King's, but notorious for having a little bit of fun on the bench. And then King right there, a little bit of a celebration after that. A great swing by Fletcher. Hopefully another one to put it down.
With Schwab over the top. Great kill there from Brian Schwab.
There you go. 3 great balls in a row, just popped right back up in the net. Queens staying aggressive, staying out of the net, doing a great job there. So let's see if Fletcher can keep the momentum going in Queens' way. Ananias again almost knocking the wind out of Schwab after he put that ball down.
Here's Carroll coming right to us. Blocked out of bounds.
And if you'll notice,
Schwab and Sims.
King's really trying to take advantage of using their hands on float serves. These last couple of years, they might not have had the best serve receive when using their platform. So you'll see their outsides taking a step forward using their hands, especially with float serves. So I'd like to see them try and get them maybe in the seam a little bit low to their outsides to where they have to use their platform more than their hands.
Service fault from Carroll. Point to the Royals. Tied up again at 12. Brian Schwab on service duty for Queens.
If Schwab can catch him right in the seams right there. Catches him in the net.
Yeah, poor service from Schwab.
Take a look at King's serve receive. You really see their libero taking a whole lot of the court over there. And that's number 5, Justin Sawyer, really taking advantage of what he has available in his passing skills. So it's not necessarily running through the outsides as it is the libero there.
Pilcher's attempt kept alive by Jordan.
Repeat from Schwab to Pilch was a great idea there. Had the offense a little bit in their hands, defense on their heels a little bit.
Here's Pilch on the serve, right into the net.
And that's one you're not too mad about because Queens is staying aggressive there on the service end. A float serve into the net, you might be a little more frustrated, but if you're going at that high caliber swing with a jump serve, more often than not, you're not too irritated if it does go into the net every once in a while.
Here's Lietau from Schwab.
King might have gotten away with a lift there.
Miscommunication between Schwab and Sims there. Going to cost Queens a point. It's 15-13. We'll head in to the halfway point of the set. 15-13, Kings leads. We'll be back in just about a minute. Back out of the halfway point, Warren Davis on service for the Tornado. Daniel Liedo's first attack attempt blocked. Both times now we've seen, for the first and second set, we saw Queens come out really hot on a quick 4-point run or 4-1 run to come back into the game. King coming out of the first point.
Goes right over the top after we see Sterling Sims pull the middle right there. So being very loud and vocal, really giving them the advantage.
(14-16), back to a 2-point contest.
A couple of tough blocks and maybe not the smartest set to Sterling Sims in the last play before, but really starting to see things go Queens' way, although the score doesn't reflect it. That last point right there really does give them a little more motivation than they had before.
Yeah, too much mustard there from Sims. Pushes it a little far and a little bit to the outside. Kennedy on the service now for King. Stephen Schwab, here's Hayes, blocked. Great block by A.J. Drucker.
Yeah, one-on-one block there. Ananias got a little more excited than he usually does. Tried to put that ball straight down and at the hands of the block right there. Ended up getting him right on the top of the head on the way out. Kennedy with a miss serve gives Daniel the chance to serve. We'll watch it bounce 3 times before he touches the ball every single time.
Here's Lietau. Finds the top of the net and can't get it over. Back to a 4-point lead.
I was saying earlier, usually you're okay with jump serves going into the net, but it gets to a point to where take a little bit of heat off of it rather than missing it. So that one might have been one of the chances, especially with the score that we're starting to see here.
Great combination there between Schwab and Murphy. Off the quick set, Murphy, his long arm swinging overhead, putting a lot of power behind that one. Nothing that the Tornado could do about that.
We'll most likely start to see Michael Sasha come in either to warm up and get a serve in for the upcoming middle or just to come in and rotate. Great aggressive ball by Schwab right there at the net.
Yeah. JP, you were saying earlier you want to see Brian get a lot more aggressive. He's done that a couple times, a couple attempts. He tried to drop it over and right there. He's been playing a lot better. He's been coming into shape during this game. The first set was rough for a lot of the members of the Queens team as Hayes gets an ace there. But the second set and this third set now they're coming into form, making it more of a contest.
Timeout. Quick.
Timeout Tornado after the Hayes ace. Kings lead 19-18. Out of the King University timeout. It's Anasius Hayes on service for Queens, trying to tie the game up at 19-19. It's currently 18-19 in favor of the Tornado. Another ace there, back-to-back aces for the senior out of Dallas, Texas.
Great ace right there. Back-to-back aces. That's one of the toughest spots in the court to serve. especially with how much court the libero is taking up. Getting him on his right shoulder, right where that right side is something that a lot of skill and very nice touch, which Ananias has developed over these last couple of years. 2 aces in a row and an error is not something to be too mad about, with Peters coming in to sub for Ananias. So we'll see Peters' refined game here with his serve receive as well.
We'll drop a little momentum there for the Royals after the back-to-back aces. But it's something you can learn to live with, bringing yourself back into or keeping yourself in a position to continue to fight for this third set.
See how Schwab does. I mean, as we saw him earlier, get really aggressive and then set the middle right there, leading to a Fletcher Murphy kill because of the net error from King. But switching from very high-powered and more physical offense up at Lindenwood to a newer offense here at Queens, and not necessarily newer because of the program's age, but more because Queens was graduating a setter last year in Brandon Grabow and now bringing in a new setter. So the attackers and the hitters are so used to having that consistency from Brandon, and now switching to a new type of system with Schwab is something that takes a little bit of learning, and although they have had the fall to get that, you'll sometimes see it change with a different color jersey on the other side of the net.
And after that Queens, or that King University point, Fletcher Murphy back into the game. Jackson Maples will check out. We also saw Chris Peters come into the game in place of Nasius Hayes.
See if they can get Sterling Sims kind of going here. Towards the end of the set, he really does seem to fare well.
Sims not tight enough on the net for that one. 2-point lead now to the Tornado, 3 points until they claim the set.
Timeout from Jordan Price. Usually you'd like to see if you can get 1 point to change that one, but often 23-20 is tough to come back from, so we'll see how they can respond here out of the timeout.
Yeah, important timeout here. We're going to take it with them. We'll come back when play resumes. It's 22-20 in favor of the Tornado. Number 15, Mason Martindale to serve for King University. Trying to put this third set away.
Hopefully we get Sterling Sims right here. It's not. Let it go.
Coming right to us, Warren Davis can't keep it in play. 21-22. Queens making it a 1-point game.
Almost got taken out right there, but I'd like to see Sterling Sims get a little more involved in the offense. He only has 3 attempts, to where Schwab himself actually has more with 5. Everybody else in double digits, Fletcher with 12, Daniel with 23, Ananias with 17, and Pilch with 26. Pilch actually playing at a really high level with 15 kills and 3 errors, hitting .462.
Well played from Jordan there to keep it alive, but the possession went to King University point.
Peters wishing he could have gotten that one back. Probably just a little misread. Thought it was going a little deeper than it was. And instead of floating out, it dropped right in at the end. That's what you get with the topspin.
A.J. Drucker does well. Placed down perfectly. Here's Pilch. Get the live by Sarnowski. Davis over the top. Jordan. Here's Schwab. Peters. That one goes long. Set point for King University.
Schwab might have just missed it, his personnel there, and seeing Peters in the back row, legs not being as warm as his attackers because he's coming in as more of a defensive specialist. So might not have been as ready for that one as an Ananias or a Matthew Pilch would have been in the back row, having played all set.
Timeout to Queens. It's set point for King University. We'll be back in just about a minute. Jack Sarnowski to serve on the set point for King University. Here's Lieto, the third set. We'll go to the Tornado.
Tough block right there, falling right into the corner. Not what you want to end on, but hopefully Queens can kind of turn it around right here.
Yeah,
Just needs to stay mentally sharp more than anything.
King doing a great job there. The last couple points, extending their lead, really dominating the last 7-8 possessions. Now they go in with a chance to claim the game here in the fourth set. We'll come back at the beginning of play and the start of our fourth set. Back now, we look at the cumulative stats after the third set. Still really disproportionate on the block side, on the defensive side of the ball. Kings dominating that 12-2. No blocks in that last set for Queens. And also in that last set for Queens, hitting a 161 percentage.
It's really clear that the block for Queens is struggling. I mean, Kennedy over at King hitting 12-0 on 17, which is a 706 hitting percentage. I mean, clearly showing why he's number 2 in the nation in hitting percentage right now. So for Queens' sake, I hope they could slow him down a little bit. He's leading the team with 13.5 points, but leading the match with 16.5 points is Matthew Pilch, who's still having a phenomenal night, hitting at 444 with 15 kills. So hopefully they could keep Pilch rolling and maybe get another couple pieces of the offense going as well to keep a balanced attack for Queens.
Starting off our fourth set here is number 9, Jackson Carroll, on service duty.
Great pass by Guillermo Jordan, who's leading the team in digs right now with 7. Right behind him with Ananias Hayes with 6 digs as well. Just picks up his 7th.
Great play by Pilch. Here's Carroll over the top, dug by Jordan. Schwab, Hayes, a little too much on that one. Way to keep it alive between Schwab and Pilch, but the first point, well won by King University.
And another one of those ping pong balls that just drops in at the last second, which you don't want to see, but at the same time, those are balls that, honestly, that's part of the reason why King has so many blocks. They're just getting those scrappy touches at the net that are either falling in the back corner or rolling off the net and falling just before they fall out of bounds.
Strong serve from Carroll. Davis does well to tap it over. King off to a quick 2-0 lead.
Davis had a block right in front of him, too, and actually turned it at the very last second down towards Pilch. So hopefully takes half step forward, maybe tries to catch that serve a little earlier and can take advantage of a 3-pass right here.
Here's Schwab. Lieto on the overhead swing. Milstead keeps it alive. Here's Tarnowski. Davis. Not an easy one there, and Davis can't control it. Queens earns their first point of the fourth set.
You can see how creative King's getting on those balls right there. You can tell they've tried that one in practice, a little unconventional, but swinging on the second ball out of the middle rather than having a second pair of hands set that ball over to anybody else.
High IQ play there from Aaron Milstead. Dumps it right over for the easy play, the intelligent play. Now he'll be on service duty for King.
Milstead having a very quiet but sneaky good game as well. 5 kills, 1 error on 9 attempts, hitting 444, but doing a lot of other things on the defensive end to kind of propel King into that 12-plus block category.
Pilch, his initial attempt blocked, but it carries out of play. Point to the Royals. Now Brian Schwab on service duty.
Pilch can really do a little bit of both. He can either take it high off the hands and get it going out of bounds just like that, or if he's wide open, he can really put that ball down. I mean, as a freshman, the kid came into practice swinging a little harder than most kids, and there's a reason he's on the court. He deserves to be there.
That one well played by Davis. Earns another point. He's been arguably the best player on the floor tonight on both sides of the ball.
Kennedy really putting that ball down right there.
Here's Lieto, comes across the court. Can't keep it in play.
Tough one for Daniel going right there. Schwab sliding right under his feet, trying to make sure he doesn't land on him and keep the ball in at the same time. So volleyball players are really good at multitasking, but looks like that one just had a little too much on it.
Tarnowski, a strong serve. Almost takes Jordan off his feet. Does well to get the dig on that one. Here's Hayes. Over to Lieto. Too strong there for Tarnowski.
Great swing by Daniel, but King really staying true to who they are, the scrappy team that can kind of get almost anything up. So I can't imagine some of the things they've seen in their practice gym. Just balls that would traditionally go down anywhere else are popping right back up, and that can get frustrating after a while, but it seems like Queens is starting to get used to it. I mean, there's a lot of great defensive presence in Queens gym as well with Guillermo Jordan, Logan McDonald, a couple of the other freshmen as well. Ryan Simber specifically, great defensive guy going. I believe personally he deserves a little more time, but we'll see if he can earn that by the end of the year.
Kept in play by Davis. Here's Kennedy.
There's Kennedy's first error of the night.
I was a tight one there, a little too much pace on it. Sterling Sims to serve for Queens. Lots of pace on that one, but gets a little too far over it. Another service error for the Royals.
Kennedy back to serve, so King is down a libero. No libero in the back row. We'll see if Queens take advantage of it right here.
Floated over by Hayes. Carroll a little too much on it. Point to the Royals. Libero checks back in. That's Justin Sawyer in place of Kellen Kennedy.
Daniel Leto somehow ended up on the floor on that last one, and Fletcher checking with the other team to make sure everybody's okay. Fletcher Murphy, one of the guys that could talk to anybody.
Leto, lots of pace on that one. Here's Davis. Drucker does well. Puts that one a little too short for Jordan to control. 8-5, King.
Acrobatic set there from Sarnowski, just really turning his body at the net, trying to make sure he stays out of it, and ends up delivering a great set to number 10, A.J. Drucker.
Drucker's serve received by Pilch. Awkward set there by Schwab. Murphy can't control it. Back up to 4 points for King. Timeout Queens. Things getting a little too out of control here for Coach Price. It's 9-5. King looking to close it out in 4. We'll come back when play resumes. It's 9-5 out of the Queens timeout. Coach Price trying to settle things down before Queens finds himself in too deep of a hole. A.J. Drucker on the serve. Received by Matthew Pilch. Here's Hayes. Well done at the start of the timeout. Big energy guy is Ignatius Hayes. Trying to show his teammates they're still in this. It's only 9-6. Definitely still anybody's set.
Yeah, volleyball is a game of runs. It can turn around real quick.
Hayes, lots of pace on that serve. Davis can't control it. 2 quick points out of the timeout for the Royals.
Coach Brewer looking for a foot fault on that one. Really close to the line. Might have had a toe on it, but it looks like the ref's keeping an eye on him. So Ananias picks up, I believe, his 3rd, maybe 4th ace of the night. Serving at a really high level.
Well done by Sawyer to keep that one in play.
Just like that, Queens is back in the game, 8-9.
Yeah, well done by Price to call that timeout. Carroll carries that one a little too far. It's back to a 1-point game.
And he does.
Another ace there for Hayes. His second one of the set. 9-9.
You don't want to be standing in front of Ananias after he starts to celebrate like that. That kid will push you way too far back. Plays with a lot of emotion.
Yeah, Hayes getting into it, starting to feel himself.
I think King out of rotation right there. Coach Brewer doesn't seem to agree with it. So we will see how that one goes. For those who don't know, you have to line up a very specific way in volleyball, making sure people don't either leave early or overlap. So it seems like King just really got out of their traditional rotations there, and their fault gives Queens the advantage.
Yeah, Queens on a 5-0 run. Hayes' energy seems to have infected the bench and his team on the court. Playing really, really well in this fourth set right now.
Give him an announcer's jinx, but I don't want to miss here.
Here's Carroll, floats it over. Well done there. Great play by Carroll. Found the perfect spot where no one could reach it. Tied up again at 10-10.
That's just one of those balls that goes right down in the middle. Tough for anybody to kind of figure out whose ball that is because it's right between Ananias and Guillermo, so not sure exactly who it should be, but the ball needs to come up.
Here's Carroll on the serve. Great dig by Jordan. Pilch, lots of pace on that one. Sawyer does well to collect. Here's Davis. Blocked, but down and on the Queen side of the court. Murphy couldn't control that one. And block it back over, a little too far away from the net. Carroll to serve again after King regains their lead. Great serve
pass
from
by
Carroll.
G. See if they can stay in system.
Drucker to Davis. Hayes keeps it in play. Lieto. Too far. 3-point run for the Tornado, and they're back up 12-10.
Yeah, Drucker right there showing how he's a setter and a right side. Played against him a handful of times. Him and Jack both have rotated on and off as setters depending on injuries, lineups, and however Coach Brewer decides to go. But pushing that ball all the way from the right corner to the outside is something that an untrained hand is not very, very easy to do.
Pilch there, earning the point for the Royals. Milstead couldn't block it into the field of play. Murphy on the serve. Soft one for Carroll. Milstead touches it right down to Hayes. Here's Lieto. Can't get enough on it. Came too far over the top and strikes it too far down. Back to a 2-point advantage for King.
And we see Jack Brinkman warming up on the sideline, so we'll see if Coach Price is going to make a change anytime soon. As good of a player as Jack is, I don't see any reason to pull either one of the outsides right now, playing at a very high and efficient level. So we'll see if they do end up making a setting change for Daniel Leitao to be front row as the setter and sub Schwob out. Seen that once or twice in the past. We'll see if they do it again.
Hayes, lots of gas on that one. Too much to handle. It's 14-11. King earning that point.
And this clearly shows how volleyball really is a game of runs. Had it tied at 11-10 after Queens being down quite a bit, and now King's back up at 14-11 again. So if we can get one or two right here, that really could change the pace of the game. And it looks like Pilch might get it down. Drucker with a great chase down.
Opportunity for Lieto. Kept in play by Carroll. Now he'll lift it over the top. Point to Queens. Carroll couldn't corral his second effort. Substitution. Schwab out.
Yep, and just like that, Brinkman comes in for Schwab. So we will see Daniel Leitao switch over to setting. Came in as a setter his freshman year, but the kid is all around just an athlete. I mean, he's played at the highest level here and internationally as well. So we'll see if he can smoothly transition from a right side to a setter. Not as easy, but we'll see if he can get it done. And Jack Brinkman comes in the game, immediately picks up an ace. The biggest Bengals fan I have ever met in my life, so you'll probably hear the bench start chanting "Hooday." You guys take a listen.
Brinkman last year played 111 sets across 30 matches and started 28 games. So he had a large role last year in the offensive production for the team. Coming in here, trying to give him a boost in a tight game situation. Well played there by the Tornado, back up to a 2-point lead. Tarnowski on the serve.
Brink with the 37 kills on the season already, so right there, that gets him second on the team right behind Daniel Leitao.
Mishandled by Hayes. Back up. Back open to a 3-point lead.
Matthew
for
Pilch
King.
there was looking to take a little bit more space, but Ananias pushed him off to see if he can do exactly that right there and make up for what he just did. So great adjustment there by Ananias, and we'll see how they transition.
Brinkman able to place it over easily. Drucker too much on that one and places it way outside. Came across, brought his left hand over. Makes it 14-16.
Little back and forth from the right side, Drucker and Pilch, thinking that he got a touch off of Pilch's fingers, but Pilch running back up to the net and saying, no, I promise I didn't touch it. So funny little interaction there. And as we know with that service error, King is going to say ball doesn't lie, but as you know, sometimes the ball lies.
Pilch there not putting enough on that one. Davis now for the Tornado on service duty.
If Queens can get back into this one right here. Great pass by Pilch.
Point again, the Tornado. Sims blocked right at the net by Kennedy and unable to collect a second effort. Back open to a 4-point lead.
Yeah, maybe not the best time to set Sterling right there. I mean, a perfect pass. Everybody's expecting to sit on that one right there in the middle. So if they could give him another chance, I really do think, and actually I know that Sterling can turn that one around and put the ball down in his favor. So
King carries that one Brinkman, carries that one too far. 5-point advantage opening up for King University in the fourth set. They're looking to close it out within these next couple of possessions. It's 19-14 Tornado. We'll come back when play resumes. Davis on the service for King out of the timeout. Queens will pick up the first point out of the timeout. We've seen lots of hot runs come from the Royals.
yeah, King's not necessarily out of the woods just yet. I mean, you see 14-19 is a little discouraging, but at the same time, as we said earlier, volleyball's a game of runs, and if Queens really starts to speed up that tempo, I think you'll have the middle for King slow down, pause a little bit, and have a lot of one-on-ones open to the pins.
And we see Michael Sacha into the game now. Took out Sterling Sims during the timeout. Able to collect a dig there, but to no avail. Kennedy too much for the Royals, and it's 20-15, back up to 5.
So that's exactly when Michael Sacha comes in. I mean, he knows his role, comes in, is one of the most efficient servers on Queens history. I mean, I've only seen him miss a handful of times, including practice, and then comes in, makes a big dig there, but unfortunately Queens couldn't turn off the net fast enough to get that one up and over.
Boyder, not enough on that one. Cuts it down to a 4-point lead. We got to see. This game will be decided by who makes the next 3 or 4-point run. If it's Queens, they can close it out and get it to a 1 or 2-point game, maybe even tie it up. But if King can go on a 2 or 3-point service run, get to that 22 or 23 mark, it'll look really good from to close that out in this fourth set. Here's Lieto over the top. Davis collects it. Drucker.
Great dig by Guillermo, great touch by Ananias. We'll see if they can limit their errors this set. A risky free ball sent over by Pilch.
Here's Brinkman. Gets under it. Davis this time. Right to Lieto. Jordan sets. Brinkman
Jack Sarnacki with a little bit of a beach volleyball dig right there. When their hands are open just like that, people call it a gator. Looks just like a gator's mouth, pops the ball open just when it is that awkward height to where you're not sure if you should use your platform or your hands. So got lucky there, actually used it at a very efficient time, and Kings seemed to benefit from it.
21-16, back home to a 5-point lead. Blocked out of play off Jackson Carroll.
And that's a matchup I think they can really exploit, especially with their front row outside one-on-one. I mean, Ananias caught his hands before they even went over the net and just got him right off the side. So Texas native back to serve, and the bench full of the Texas Longhorns hook him.
Davis wins the point, back open to 5, and it's looking really good for King here. 5-point lead, 3 points there to close out the set.
Jack Sarnacki with 37 assists right now, halfway through the 4th set. Earlier this year, he had 62 against Fort Valley State, which is numbers that, I mean, speak for themselves. Just an incredible performance there. See if he can keep that total going up, but hopefully for Queens can keep him to limit that. Good communication by King right there, making sure that ball is not touched as it does go out of bounds. Most likely we'll see another timeout from Jeremy Price coming soon if he does have a second one, which it does not look like he has. So
well played there by Drucker to keep that ball out of Tarnowski's hands. Now it's 2 points for King to claim the match.
Great pass by Guillermo Jordan. Quick set to Fletcher. I mean, jumping that high and that quick, it's hard to stop. So being able to put that ball down is really important for Queens to see right now. Balls hitting the floor are really special.
Now Queens has the service opportunity. They really have to capitalize on this. They're down 5. Need 7 points to claim or force a tiebreaker.
Yeah, the other Texas native coming in, Jackson Maples, comes in a lot for a serving sub. I gave him the nickname of Texas Toast because the guy, he just has a heater of a serve, comes in and can really do what he does and is good at knowing his role.
Warren Davis, however, places that ball in a perfect spot. No one able to get to it. We've seen him do that a couple times now, right in the middle of the court.
Queens really needs to focus on communicating in what they call the donut hole right in the middle of the court. So we'll see if they can stop him from getting an ace right here.
And it's match point. Kept in by Tarnowski. Here's Drucker. Play remains alive. Brinkman right into the net. That'll wrap it up in 4 sets. The match goes to King, picking up their 4th win of the season, moving to 4-8. Queens server dropping their 5th straight, moving on to 1-7. 5-game road trip coming up, starting at Barton
and one
tomorrow.
Of Queens' only home games in the month of February. It's this home game, and then I believe sometime down in the 24th against Limestone. So quick little gap here for Queens, see if they can pick it up against a winless Barton tomorrow. Not a game that you want to go into with struggling record, but really an opportunity for guys to turn it around, maybe for Coach Price to switch up some lineups and see how things can turn in this first quarter of the season, now being almost 10 games in.
We'll look at the attack numbers. The rest of the statistics, Queens 121 and 118 on attacks, but where you really see the difference, the 14-3 on the blocks. The defensive side with Kellen Kennedy in the middle along with Aaron Milstead. Those two played outstanding on the defensive side of the ball. The outsides as well, and Warren Davis and A.J. Drucker. And then on the Queens side of the ball, Anasius Hayes and Daniel Lieto played really, really well, the 2 bright spots for Queens. But Queens outmatched today by the Tornadoes. Playing really well. Coach Ryan Brewer coached well. Jeremy Price now on the road trip. Going to have to switch a couple things up. They're 1-7 now. We'll see how Queens changes things up. But signing off from the Levine Center, I'm Brendan O'Neill along with JP Payne. You're watching Queens Men's Volleyball on the Queens Sports Network.